Let's see, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, there we go. Hello YouTube, Davmar1079 just decided on a whim to do a World of Warships Legends live stream in the War Tales little thing that is going on, and I quite like, especially since I've been able to buy a bunch of like tier 7 ships or just make a lot of money and experience fast. I've literally had Vladivostok here almost less than a week or so, and almost ready to give her her final upgrade. But it seems like the only problem is in hard mode. It seems to take a little bit longer to do, because everyone, I guess, doesn't want to play hard mode, or if they are probably... No, this time it proves me wrong. Playing like normal mode, I was gonna say. But if you have ships that you want to get, or just want to get a crap ton of money before this goes away until whenever they decide to, hey, let's bring more war stories again. It's time for different countries, like probably this one's for the Americans, the British, in the Russian Navy, pardon me. The next one will probably be for the Axis navies. It'll probably be like Germany, Italy, and Japan. So right now, if you have any ships that you want to just like get XP for and everything, now's your chance. You still can't wait for whenever it gets into effect, when I can get the battleship Rodney for the British Navy. The ship that, I'll just say this, help hunt down the Bismarck. But I will get into that history and all that for the Nelson class once I actually have her in my possession. But as you want, in the meantime, prior to before that comes out, if you want, I can do a history of potentially one of these, the Russian battleships, if you want, like Vladivostok here, and she is upgraded fully. Like what I used to do, like I did, was Iowa and Agumo or Azumi, I think, a tier 7 Japanese battleship. But much like for a video that I have already scheduled for coming out next Monday, Vladivostok here has no history. Sovetski Soyuz and her class of ships kind of do, because they were ordered and laid down, just none of them were finished because, well, a war was going on.
Enemy destroyer sighted. Hold. Target penetrated.
I'm primarily playing with the countries with the bonuses. So if you have any recommendations, if you want to see me play a different nation or a specific ship, let me know and I shall.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
But until I see something like that, I will play with Vladivostok, just so I can get her engine upgrade, because 26 knots and like 26.2 knots is painfully slow, even though, yeah, she doesn't go up to much speed of 29 knots. Even though she's in the fast battleship category, mostly all the top battleships, at least with their engine upgrades, go 30, 32, 33 knots.
Enemy severely damaged.
Like the Bismarck there goes up 32, I believe. Iowa goes up to 30. That's kind of weird that that type of ship doesn't go faster unless you get like the French upgrade to get them up to that 33 knots. Granted, if I were to switch out with, get the Admiral, my commander, the one French commander, then yes, much like the standard class of battleships go from 21 knots to 23 knots, I could do that.
Destroyer foundered.
And I still wonder how these ships would have been used if, like, Vladivostok and Sovietsky Soyuz class battleships were made, because I know they wanted like 15 in the Sovietsky Soyuz class, but that would have been spread out between all of their fleets, the Black Sea Fleet, the Pacific, Atlantic fleets. I think Russia has 4 or 5 fleets because they have that much water around them in certain places. So it'd be like 5, 5, 5, and 5. 5 battleships here, 5 battleships there. But kind of like the Imperial Russian Navy, it will not do any good. Even if we did have, they all did have battleships like that, you need the massive fleet to support them, so it might be not good. In terms of if something happened to like what happened to the Russian Pacific Fleet was getting its reinforcements.
Problem solved, sir.
And now that I think of it, there is actually one example of technically these Russian battleships to actually come to be, because there is one 16-inch gun barrel that actually exists that was a part of this plan for Soviet battleships. I believe it was like sent to like to help the Russians.
Hold breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Stalingrad, I believe.
Problem solved, sir. Enemy battleship sunk.
I do wonder, now that I think of it, if the Russians had kept going, was like, oh, we need big, if they even made a handful of battleships, which a lot of people say wasn't, if they were, maybe 2 to 3 battleships, would they have ever maybe gone against their future enemy, like the Iowa class battleships? to me that would be fun to see is like, Russian battleship versus American battleship. We still had 23 at the time still in service. You know, we gradually just like, alright, we don't need these old battleships, let's get rid of this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Let's keep North Carolina class, South Dakota class, and Iowa class. Which still, they're all fast battleships, all in the third, all around the 27 knot and above category. Technically, the North Carolina class itself, the oldest of them, could right now outrun Vladivostok. Or at least keep up a decent chase for a while. Because depending on where the ship was supposed to be, maybe didn't have the range. So yeah, they could go for a while. American battleships are supposed to go around halfway around the world and be able to refuel, so wouldn't matter, I don't think. Most European ships wouldn't have to, but for them to get reinforcements into the Black Sea, now that I think of it, I think we'll have to go through Turkey. Has a Panama Canal situation, kind of like the Panama Canal, where no aircraft carriers or battleships are allowed through that area. So pretty much the Russians would have to build them in the Black Sea. Pardon me. I think that's where they'd have to be. That to me would be funny to see. How would they keep, like, if they did make, like, let's say that they made at least four Iowas for their most powerful, the Sovietsky Soyuz class. Be funny to see if they ever did have to go into a gunnery battle, who would win? Who would have the modern systems? Would it be the Iowa class or the Sovietsky Soyuz class? Or do you think it'd be more realistic to say, hey, instead of making these battleships with all this armor, let's do the battle cruiser kind of thing, or technically at the time would, for some people they would be consider battle cruisers, but other people would call them battle cruiser killers, like the Stalingrad class of super cruisers, 12-inch guns, biggest guns. Actually, that may be more attainable because they already had a bunch of 12-inch guns all over their old class of battleships. Their Imperial Russian battleships, they could just decommission those, take them off, and like, here you go. They had like 12 guns, so you could make a handful of 12-inch armed super cruisers. If the Russians would do that, since yeah, the tech but I don't know if that would work, because it's like, okay, we have all these pre-made 12-inch guns for these battleships that are outdated, they're barely working, so let's, instead of trying to make these things work that no longer can be fixed because the technology is old and outdated, let's at least use the guns that are fine and do that, maybe. I'm just thinking hypothetical because I pretty much know what happens afterwards. After Stalin dies, the Navy doesn't get no love and attention for a long time. pretty much surface navy, don't need it. Submarine navy, the submarine fleet, well, that's good. The Typhoon class of nuclear submarines is like, whoo, that was a big one. That was a floating apocalypse for a number of years, which I think there's actually still some in service today, and they probably came out in the 70s.
Problem solved, sir.
They have nothing really new, so pretty much only the Admiral Warship, I think that's the name of their aircraft carrier that is basically
Enemy battleship
a
sunk.
floating death trap. I think that is their newest unit. And it's also out of commission for 3 years because I think a crane went through the flight deck.
The ship is on fire. Enemy severely damaged.
I mean, this is fun thinking of like all these hypothetical type things. It's just like the Russian Navy that could have been in the 40s and even the 50s, scary. Yeah, even though the Cold War era fleets, yeah, they were scary then because of all the nuclear submarines and everything. That was scary too. It's just now it's like it's all a former of its former self. What the Russian Federation is not what the Soviet Union is. It can't be at this rate.
Enemy cruiser foundered. We're hull below the waterline. We're flooding quickly. Confirmed penetration. Problem solved, sir. Fighter airborne. The ship is on fire.
Yeah, even this Russian battleship, like it is, it would have like a few. If this ship existed in the 40s, if they had made it and it had somehow made it to World War II, like what's happening now, I'm pretty sure the Imperial Japanese Navy would absolutely destroy these ships. All these ships, no problem. The aircraft carrier that they do not exist for the Russian Navy because there was nothing planned for an aircraft carrier. Well, there were plans, it's just no plans of ever doing it because when it's like everyone else, it's like, oh, battleships is the way to go. We don't need aircraft carriers. Instead, it was the mindset. So yeah. The Russian Navy was basically nothing in World War II. It had no way of helping out whatsoever. We had, I think I heard they had the Lend-Lease in our class battleship from the British Navy. That was in an aircraft carrier, and those were so badly run ragged. It's like we're not okay. We'll take it back, but it's immediately going to the scrapyard. And they run ragged at the other stuff that they had, like their spoils of wars of one of the Giulio Cesare, the refurbished Italian battleship that they themselves had refurbished from World War I. And let's see, the Hipper class heavy cruiser that the Germans gave them when they were at Friends, incomplete, and the unfinished hull of Graf Spee, which that was an impressive ship. They could have used that one. if they would have, like, finished it. But granted, they didn't have the German ingenuity, engineering, or anything at the time, so that would have been nothing. At this rate, it was going like the hypothetical of how these ships would be, to now it's like, I'm bashing on the Russian Navy, the Soviet Navy, and the modern Russian Navy that is using old Soviet stuff, because their newest stuff, which was also Soviet stuff, yeah, their aircraft carrier Admiral Gorshkov was a Soviet thing. I have no idea whatsoever if the Russians actually have anything from the Russian Federation. It's all Soviet leftovers. That's sad, if that's the case. They might have a submarine, I would think, maybe, but they're using the Typhoon class that is from the 70s. Only decommissioned one or two of them. Yeah, that's just sad. Yeah, Russia, no navy. Not scary. Hate to bring it up, but screw it. I'm in the mood. Like, there's pretty much no way right now, even with what's going on in Ukraine. They had a big problem with having more males than females. That was still, when I heard about this, still a thing from World War II back in 2015. And now what they're doing now, that's a 4-year-long war, or they like to call it a special military operation. They're going to have more of a problem with too many females, not enough males. Luckily, their AK is made by females, so at least there's something good that they also primarily want a female only job. We'll at least keep that going. I don't know. I have no idea. Hello, hello, new person that just joined the stream. After this battle with the Vladivostok, if you have any other ship, if you would like to see me play a different ship or recommend, I'll see if I have it, and then we'll go from there, and I'll play it. I'm just playing her because she's almost upgraded, almost got her engines upgrade. So she can finally get up to 29 knots, which to me will be good because she's going as fast as a Queen Elizabeth battleship. It's still fast, but to me, it's not getting out of her own way. I'm used to ships of this high tier going at least 27 and above.
General quarters.
And you missed me going on a whole thing for some reason, talking about, like, what if scenarios, like, hey, what if, like, some of these Russian battleships existed and all that? Like, how would they have been good to their to the Russian Navy? Would they be around as long as the Iowa class or something, or would they not be any good because they can only have so many in their certain fleets at a time? Which, granted, I gave them the benefit of doubt. Like, you're just like, hey, let's make it even. For, like, Sovetski Soyuz, the class that they were planning, that actually had about 4 hulls, I believe. and the Germans didn't tamper with them or destroy them or bomb them. Which kind of then went on a rant of the modern Russian, well, modern I should say, Russian Navy is using Cold War era ships still. I wonder if that would be the case with the Vladivostok, now that I think of it. Would these battleships still be in service to this day? Maybe at this rate shelling Ukraine? Maybe one of those ships would have been sunk instead of that Russian missile cruiser. I think it was a Russian missile cruiser, or just a regular cruiser or something.
Enemy heavily damaged.
Oh, actually no, that would be worse. If the Russians actually had a battleship, they would probably use it just because of the capability of shelling. Ooh. That just actually gave something good to the Russians, a weapon system that would have been good to the Russians attacking Ukraine. A battleship for shore bombardment that, if it's theoretically got the same range as the Iowa-class battleship, that's 24 miles inland. And most of the area that Russia is trying to really keep right now is by the water, so ooh. Yeah, I was how if I did it again, like the armor is somewhat decent to maybe British and American armor styles for those battleships. Would a anti-ship missile be able to? Well, I know it would probably mission kill it, but I wonder if it would have been able to sink it or just mission kill it. The battleship goes back to a port, get fixed, rearm itself potentially, and get crewed. Huh. Yeah. That would have been worth it. Especially if they had 4 of them to call on. Granted, maybe they do like with their Typhoon class or the Kirov battle cruiser class. Maybe get rid of 1 so they'll have 3 of them. Ouch. And they only launch like 1 of those harpoon, those like anti-ship missiles or harpoon missiles, I think it might have been, at that cruiser and sunk it. Granted, it took them hours for them to finally say, screwed, get off the ship. It's a loss. No. 4, maybe 3, maybe even just say, just for the budgets that they have, maybe 2 at the most. 2 to 1, I'll give them. Yeah, you mission kill 1 battleship, but you still have 1 flinging that many the shells at them. Yeah, that would be horrifying. I would hate to be Ukraine. That would mean that battleship has to be the biggest target for them to try and sink.
Problem solved, sir.
They just went into a freaking different universe. Like, hey, let's say these ships did exist. This would be this would be why this would be a bad thing for these ships to exist. If they made it in, and the Russians decided to keep these battleships. It's like, well, we spent all this money, let's just get everything we can out of them. Let's just squeeze them till we can't no more, much like the aircraft carrier that they're trying to keep alive that has to have seafaring tugboats.
Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, dead ahead.
Okay, I see a bad scenario for Ukraine, if that's the case now that I think of it.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Any Russian battleship were to have made it. Not good.
Problem solved, sir.
But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Would it be if, say, they did make 4 battleships like this? Either the Vladivostok or Sovietsky Soyuz class of battleships, which they were making the Sovietsky Soyuz class. Would that be bad, you think?
Problem solved, sir. Fighter airborne.
We destroyed an enemy cruiser.
I don't know why I got silent. I guess I was trying to focus there for a second. I guess I was also... In this, I'm no way, shape, or form rooting for the Soviet Union's fleet and or the modern Russian administration, Navy bullcrap that's going on now. I think Putin's a wannabe Stalin. I'm just coming up with these theoretical things that's like, oh, this could happen if we would have done this, or this, if this would have gone this way or something. I'm just thinking, like, in this case, I'm giving the Soviets too much credit. I think come early 80s till late 80s to pretty much the 90s when the Soviet Union fell, these ships would be relegated to, yes, the Americans have battleships, but so do we. But it's like the Americans have the ability to take care of their ships and keep them running for almost over 50 years. Granted, they put them in the mothballs and let them rest. These ships would just be non-stop run ragged, potentially. I'm betting. Like, we're not giving them a break, we're not giving them a 30-year break in the mothball fleet, because if they go to the mothballs, I think in the Russian Navy, that's where they go. That's it. They're just rust. Or they, like I said, if they do make 4 of them, they keep 1 in active service, and they keep the rest for like spare parts and everything. Maybe keep 1 in ready reserve, and keep 2 of them just for part ships or something like that. If all the lines line up that way, and who knows, maybe then these ships will be used in the modern Russian Navy. Just because they can't have anything new. Like I said, as far as I know, the Russian surface fleet and submarine fleet of the present day is all Soviet era technology. The Russian military, as far as I know, is the only thing modern, but Ukraine has shown like how good it is. against our old crap. It just comes down to, I wonder. Let's see. That's kind of my thoughts, I guess. If you want to ask me anything, go right ahead, game-wise or modern-wise. I keep up with some modern stuff when it comes to naval shit or world crap, but I don't talk about it pretty much. I just theorize in my head. It's like, this will happen, shit like that. And it was pretty much my little theory of like, if the Soviets did get battleships, maybe they'd have one or two left, much like the Kirov class, their one aircraft carrier, and the Typhoon class submarines that they have. Hello to the other person watching. Any suggestions for a different ship? Or any random damn topics to talk about or whatever? I just decided, I haven't live streamed this game mode, so I thought, what the hell? I did with doing 100%ing 2018. Don't have that one. Actually, no, I do. Okay. I thought I didn't. Alright, I'll do that one. Not upgraded whatsoever. But I guess we'll take her out. A German battle cruiser never existed. Never, I forget about that. At times like this, I wish I had my damn place, the damn camera to show you. I just freaked the hell out, sitting back in a fucking chair. I forget I'm leaning back in a damn computer chair at times playing. It's like, it freaks me out because I'm thinking I'm falling. I don't know how many times I've actually done that too. I've done it a lot where if I lean back slowly, I'm fine. But as far as like I was going. If I go like fast, then I freak out. Some of it's cut off, so let me go to my computer. In this game, I don't think it really matters. It's just have fun. It's probably good. I think I have a few people with KDs of 1 point something. I think my KD is like 0.76 last time I checked. But I also have a crap ton of battles, so I don't know. If you're just beginning, I think you're really good. If you just now you have a crap ton of battles and just evens out throughout all your battles, then it's still good. Then it's good. I'd have to go into my fleet and see how many battles I have is why my KD is like that. Well, I know now I think of it, sometimes I get into some pretty terrible games. It's like I'm just taking the objective and then I've like lost half my team. Yeah, I don't need it. I just play this game because, one, I love battleships, I love naval history and all that, and just like my little rant of what if, like that I did was like, hey, what if the Russians made their battleships? It's like, eh. Yeah. Plus, it's fun. Like, when I started doing this, YouTube and all that, just fun. I like this game. I was enthused with it when I could play on PC, back when my computer could handle it. Then when I found out it was on console, I'm like, woohoo, better. And it's fun. Found friends that like playing this game too. Like occasionally with my buddy Driven. Good friend to have. Not sure. Haven't been able to play it in a long time. My old computer was able to handle it because it actually had some good stuff behind it back. Now I just have a regular. But that one finally took a dump. And this one's just a crappy little office thing, so I was able to play it for a little bit. It barely likes to play Minecraft, especially if I have a second browser open on my aunt's like little frickin' TV. I'd like to get back on the PC version just at this point in time to play Submarines. Wish this timer would hurry it up. Pardon me if you heard that. But I think eventually we'll get Submarines into the PC version, just much like we did Aircraft Carrier into the console version. Console. We'll get Submarines much like we weren't supposed to get like aircraft carriers. And what did we get? Aircraft carriers. Probably never going to get the hybrid ships, and we got the hybrid ships. Now, much like the PC version, they got the Dutch, we got the Dutch cruisers. I'm thinking submarines are coming soon. They say if they bring submarines into the game, in the PC or the console game, they'll make it go against pretty much PvE only, which that ain't gonna last long. So I don't see in it because, like, they said they were never bringing aircraft carriers. They brought aircraft carriers. We're never getting ships like Yamato in Montana. We got that. Eventually, this game is catching up to the PC version. It's like all that detail, especially on like the destroyers. It's like you have those depth charges, and even some of them, like the Tier 7, like Greek, former like campaign Greek Fletcher class destroyer has hedgehogs. It's like, and now you're giving us the Dutch line that have these airplane strikes on ships and all that. It's like, what can battleships do in the PC version? Last time I looked up anything on it, it's like, oh, they can ping an area where a submarine might be and drop depth charges. Damn, went away. Subs will just make only players. Maybe. But it'll probably be a long time before, if they do decide to put submarines in this game. And I'm gonna just go to, I guess, normal mode to see if that does it, because it's just too stupid for a waiting time. There we go. Yeah, if they add subs, it'll be a long time. The only reason I say they'll probably add subs is because I heard someone pointed out from a live stream. It's like they said, instead of never to maybe. Maybe. We'll see. But in terms of playing submarines, I think the best one right now for me playing on console is like Battle Stations Pacific.
Action stations.
Can remember. Yep, this has a long range, so this should be good against those stupid.
Target penetrated.
Talk about a destroyer, and there's one right there with depth charge racks. But who knows? I don't know all these things. Like, I'm wondering too, is the little update that we just had in the past that I played like once, only in a live stream, with the missile systems that they added. And I got called like stupid a couple times for saying it. It's like, that would be interesting. Like, hey, when I saw the update, why don't maybe we get like a new premium Cleveland class like Little Rock, or hey, we have all three of the 4 Iowa class, why don't we put Wisconsin in and maybe give her the Bureau Project and say, hey, she has, or give us a regular, now that I think of it, a regular Battleship New Jersey that's not Azure Lane, and give us, hey, Tomahawk missiles, like what we did in that last update. Then I got called stupid saying World War II ships didn't have missile systems, and I said, you're right, they didn't at first, but Tomahawk cruise missiles were retrofitted to ships. Look at the Iowa class. I don't know, last update I got called stupid a lot. or close to it. It's like, okay, buddy, you don't know. He's like, yes, World War II ships didn't have missiles, but they weren't in the World War II ships actually got retrofitted to have missile systems, so there you go. Cleveland class, missiles. Iowa class, missiles. Island. If oh yeah, I can see it. Like when they said Rodney was coming out, I already have Nelson. I gave my friend the option from one ship to the others. Like, you pick. He picked Nelson. And then he regretted it afterwards. Because I made a crap ton of money with Nelson when I first got her. And I can't wait for that for Rodney. So, Wargaming, you've already got my dollar on me getting that one. So yeah, Wargaming will.
We're flooding quickly.
Like you said, I agree full-heartedly. They make money on it, they will. So if they ever do like hey, do like a 25 gap for a bureau project or 30 million in credits in this game, will they add like something like that? Like, we'll keep Azure Lane, New Jersey is the only New Jersey, and then we'll give Wisconsin, but she's blocked behind a paywall for like she's the missile version. She's a tier 7 or a legendary tier battleship that's like, hey, we'll give you Tomahawk cruise missiles. Or it's like, okay, before, even though they said, oh, everyone liked the update with missiles, which were not homing whatsoever, so they were just like, here, point, shoot, they get close enough, locked on target, guns didn't destroy it, well, there you go, tough. See, my torpedo range. Alright, he's gonna catch it, probably.
Enemy cruiser destroyed. Confirmed penetration.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
35 seconds until they comes back. This damn British cruiser has to be in my way. So get out of my way!
engine damage. The ship is on fire.
Oh yes, I do too, especially since I saw a build, I think at least when it's fully upgraded, that her can go out like 12 kilometers.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
So yes, that is one thing I'm giving to definitely the German Navy. The Germans Navy, they definitely do have some impressive secondary guns. Especially long-range ones. Oh, why I like the Bismarck so much. So,
Enemy battleship destroyed.
I think it was actually my first, if not one of my first premium ships that I got in this game. Well, at least first German premium anyways. Besides that one, probably also the most well-defended carrier. Graf Zeppelin being good too, since you can defend yourself from a stinking little destroyer better than all the other carriers. And any other request for ships to see if I have? Hate it that I can't read half these comments half the time. No. Players are coerced. Oh, cowards. Maybe for the low tier ones, yes. Me, I tend to be, even though I know better, I at times go after the frickin' ships that I know will be a frickin' problem. But I play carriers when I'm just bored and or I just need to get like stupid objectives done, like set fires, citadels. If I'm having a bad streak with my battleships, I'll just go right to the carriers. And should I continue playing with her, go back to Vladivostok, or go to different ship? So you can pretty much see I have a lot to pick from. So just hover now. They think I'll just hover over 30,000 more to go, and I'll just go into hard mode just in case if I don't get response. If anyone else wants to say a different ship. Oh, I'll just go see. Now I said it earlier. Let's see. Ah, that many. Let me go to my computer to see what you had wrote. That's one thing. I definitely, when I play aircraft carriers, I definitely stay away from American battleships. They are full of guns, and then I might, until they're weakened, tend to stay away from them unless it's too good of a shot. For like, it's perfectly for a bombing run or perfect for torpedo run. Other than that, I stay away from them till the very end. I've always said, even now that I think of it, I even stay away from only one low tier ship if I happen to just for some reason go to tier 5 aircraft carriers. I'd stay away from Texas. The heck? I live my German battleships than the US battleships. Oh yeah, comes to the German battleships. Definitely like Tirpitz, because like plenty of people have said, that's what they were supposed to be. Tirpitz is what Bismarck should have been, 100% completed. Fully armored and everything. Would she have gotten their torpedo tubes? Who knows? American battleships only get good up until the fast generation of battleships. The slow ones, the standard types, yeah, they're good for AA defense. But isn't Europe bigger overall than Bismarck? No, since they are brother and sister. I think Tirpitz and Bismarck pretty much the same. It's just I think Tirpitz is more heavily armed, at least with torpedo tubes and maybe a couple more anti-aircraft guns, just because of what happened to her. Granted, the anti-aircraft guns on a German, well, on any pretty much almost any European battleship, kind of sucks, since none of them really created a dual purpose, like the 5-inch guns on pretty much all refitted standard type battleships and the modern fast battleships. Tirpitz just has a little bit more bite to her. Pretty much.
General quarters.
So yeah. If it comes to picking between those two, I would pick maybe more along the sides of Tirpitz, just because even though she maybe got a couple more anti-aircraft guns, that doesn't do much, but those torpedo tubes may scare most lightly armed ships to maybe stay away. Just kind of like how me and my friend Driven agree, like the Russian battleships Their guns, when used correctly and hits, they hurt. No, when your Iowa speed guns. Yes, that is one that everyone likes to see. I would too. I don't know if I've ever done that. What if I think I've no, I have never done that. I do like occasionally do like, hey, let's do like what if scenarios, like what if Iowa versus like Yamato. Actually no, I did something like that that people want to see big time, which is I wanted to do like, hey, people versus people in a 5v5. It's like here is Iowa,
Cruiser destroyed.
like Iowa, an Iowa, a North Carolina, a South Dakota. Like, it's like two South Dakota. It's like either it's both Washington, North Carolina. One of the it's like one of the South Dakota class battleships and one of the Iowa class. It's something like that versus like two Congos, one Nagato, and a Yamato ship, something like that type of layouts. Like, let's have these American battleships versus these Japanese battleships. Just to see, like, ooh, who would win? Which, if you have Washington, and especially if you have Admiral Lee, we already know what happens there. Would win IRL. I'm going Iowa. 9 times out of 10, Iowa. But, like, even it's just like, you gotta think, whoever hits the person first, 9 times out of 10 is going to win. So, technically, it's pretty much whoever has the better gunnery. If, say, like what happened with Bismarck and Hood, the British weren't really doing gunnery exercises much like the Germans were, is why Bismarck was able to hone in on Hood so fast. And plenty of people say the Japanese and the Americans weren't really throwing shells like that, so it's pretty much they were both doing the same bombardment. They weren't shooting ship to ship, so it. If Iowa gets hit first, then Iowa's in trouble. If Yamato gets hit, depending on where she gets hit, she's in trouble. It's kind of tough because both the Bismarck class and Yamato class took damage that no U.S. battleship people have said will ever be able to take. Bismarck literally had the whole British fleet destroying her. And it took them hours to sink her. Yamato and Mutsu were taking hours to the punishment. I'm gonna kind of go with like what they said on the Wargaming interview with the historians of the battleship Yamato. It's like, if it was clear skies, calm-ish seas, Yamato. If it was like somewhat rough seas, Iowa. Because it's like, it's kind of hard to say. Iowa's armed against 16-inch armor guns.
The ship is on fire.
So she could withstand like Nagato here, going against a battle against Nagato. Yamato with those guns. I don't know. It's pretty much down to who hits first and what the conditions are.
Problem solved, sir.
Iowa every time else because she has the better equipment, but it's like they say, If Yamato hits first, though, that's gonna hurt Iowa. Sadly, the evil aircraft carrier took that role away from them. Not Nimitz, it was Halsey. Halsey was ready to go. He was aboard New Jersey. He had all these fast battleships ready to go. Instead, they chose to send 3 fleet carriers and some light carriers to send give Japan basically a taste of their own medicine. What they did to Pearl Harbor was over 300 aircraft. We sent over 300 aircraft to basically kill their country's namesake ship.
Fighter airborne.
So, yeah, you see, it's almost basically a 50-50 split. Who finds who first, who gets gun sighted in first, it all depends on that.
Enemy cruiser detected.
Iowa's rangefinders and everything are more modern and better, and their turrets can run faster, so... And it's much easier, it seems like, to load in a 16-inch shell, since you can get 2 shots off in a minute versus I don't know what Yamato's time is per shell shot, reality-wise. So, yeah, I'll go with you, but I'll go Iowa. Sorry, just looping around. It's just my brain goes into these what-if scenarios. Like, who knows? Maybe that'll be a video idea. I get my buddy Driven and he'll say, okay, you pick Iowa. You want an Iowa? Do you want to play as Iowa or do you want to play as Yamato? He has one, and so do I. I think we kind of got the scenario of, even though granted it would have been better with actually 5v5, 2 Iowas, Washington, and maybe 2 South Dakota class, maybe the other North Carolina or something, and basically 2 Congos, Nagato, and Yamato, and maybe Mutsu, maybe, I think. I don't know, let me, for all you that are in here, let me know. Who wins in a fight of the 5v5? 5 American battleships, which is pretty much, could be both North Carolina class or 2 South Dakota class with the 2 Iowas, well actually, 2 Iowa class battleships.
Hold breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Washington, because we have to have Admiral Lee, and maybe 2 South Dakota class battleships versus 2 Congos.
Problem solved, sir.
Both Mutsu and Nagato with Yamato. Which I'll just say this. We already know what happens when Admiral Lee goes against a Congo. Just has Kirishima. She inhabitant and fish inhabitants. The only guns that could hurt the other, well, then it comes down, now I've gotten this thing, it's like, okay, North Carolina, including Washington, only has a 14-inch belt, since she was originally designed with 14-inch guns, so, let's see, 2 South Dakota would wreck some ass. Yes. And actually, pretty much how I see the thing is, Admiral Lee with Washington in the South Dakotas would kill the 2 Congo class battleships, if you want to call them that, battle cruisers technically, but battleships by the Japanese. Those ones would be scrap metal, so then it's down to 2 Nagatos and Yamato. The real threats, technically. Got 2 16.1-inch armed battleships. Granted, the 2 Nagato and Mutsu are old, 20 years old. Yamato's only a couple years old, was the biggest guns. And you still have a full main armament of all 16-inch guns across America's board. Granted, one's 45 caliber, the other one's 50 caliber, but still, 16-inch guns, 16-inch gun with those super heavy shells. It was me just rambling on and like 4 people watching this. I'm just waiting for one of you guys to call me a nerd. At this rate, I don't care. When I get the talking, I don't shut up. Or if I start thinking. Now it got me into a mood. Freaking, since this will probably be my last game with Vladivostok, just because we're talking about America versus Japan, almost every time I've done it, I'm gonna break out Missouri. Which still cannot believe is my most almost at 10,000 views per. Me just pointing out that, hey, her spot of surrender, like, spot that they show on the actual ship is right there on the ship.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
Come on, don't get behind the island just before I'm ready to shoot. Damn. Probably too late. Yep. Oh, got one.
Fighter returning to ship. Problem solved,
We
sir.
destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Somebody hurry up and take that objective so I can get a frickin' heal. So I can also stop getting
The
set
ship is
on
on
frickin'
fire.
fire.
Bullseye.
darn aircraft carrier needs to be destroyed. Good it is, just now. Stuck on your carrier.
The ship is on fire! Sir, bullseye! Fighter returning to ship.
Guess I'll take the frickin' objective at this rate. It's like our aircraft carrier that should be taking these now is not. It's like I'm probably one of the slowest ships here right now until I get my engine upgrade finally, and nobody's wanted to take this objective. Finally. So I'm at maximum health when I get there. Primary target, get rid of this stupid aircraft carrier.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
There goes another air. This battleship was the first.
Battle ends in 5 minutes. Enemy cruiser destroyed.
faster.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly. Problem solved, sir.
Where did these stupid torpedoes come from? Really?
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Come on, let me kill Nagato or something, or someone kill Nagato before I sink. Don't even just stop. Boom.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
$324 health. Jeez, thought it was gonna sink. It's way over what I needed to level up this ship to get its final engine upgrade. Finally, Vladivostok can go up faster, but like I said, it's because we were talking about Japanese ships versus American ships. I am going to play with Missouri, the ship of victory. And I thank pretty much all you guys for tuning into my stream and watching me and talking and all that. And if you want me to keep going after this or whatever, suggest a ship you would like to see me play next. If you have a favorite, or if I have it, I'll play it. We have like over 200 something ships. I've almost got enough to equal a freaking world, an actual full navy at this rate. Primarily in just battleships and aircraft carriers alone. I think are like in the 60s. But if you are a new player, or you are a type of player, well, you can't play if you're brand new, you at least have to be a tier 3 player. But if you're a player who is hurting for money, or just want to help level up a ship faster with ship experience, and you're just tired of either grinding in standard and always getting into those battles, it's like, ooh, I have like maybe 1 or 2 really good games, and then the rest of them after that are just crap, because it's like, oh, okay, we captured this objectives, me and a couple of other randoms, and then the rest of the team is dead on the other side of the map. It's like, great, we're left alone, and you're the only. Or if you're playing with a group of friends and they're good and still your team is garbage. This is pretty much a perfect thing. You get loads of money and loads of experience. Just helps you out. Grind, ship experience, global experience, and just cash. Pretty much how I got Vladivostok so fast, fully upgraded. Escorting the Vanguard. Right next to what potentially would have replaced the Iowa-class battleships if they were built. In terms of long history. Still, like to sync in some all timelines. Maybe Missouri still is the ship that is the surrender is placed aboard. That
That's how it's done.
golden little nugget that you can kind. You know they remove it in battle. That's neat. Yeah, it's there. The little surrender plaque is there. I have a video. If you go to videos on my channel and see most popular, that one's almost at like 10,000 views of just me pointing out an Easter egg for Missouri here. Suck it took like 3 years after me being able to get her with the stupid steel crap. Got her in camouflage too, the Montana. I will be really enjoying it if one day I'm ever able to visit one of these great battleships.
Enemy warship. Target penetrated. The ship is on fire. Concentrate fire on the designated target. Enemy destroyer sighted. Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Sucks I picked the Montana Missouri for frickin' shooting down the Japanese aircraft from the last battle that I needed. Instead, I'm going against the Italian Navy with no aircraft and gotta just dodge torpedoes. Random destroyer pirate ship. Just had to get in the way. Come on, get back up the knots, Missouri, come on. Yes. Dodged every torpedo. Good.
Confirmed penetration.
Keep those for now because everything's going nice and smoothly.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
And this. If anyone has a favorite museum ship they would like to go see or have seen, actually, I'd like to know. My first ever museum ship was actually the USS Silverside up in Muskegon, Michigan. Family lives in Michigan. It's like a little over 2.5 hour drive to go see her. Went and saw her after Halloween. I only got to see snow in 20 years.
The ship is on
It's the
fire.
first time I've ever seen one. Seen snow in 20 years. The
Enemy
frickin'
destroyer blown up.
basically toddler in West Virginia. barely having memory that flickered on and off, it seemed like. Got two things. First snow in a long time, and my first ever museum. That is cool.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Gonna hurt.
Solved, sir.
Yeah, if any of you have
We're hold below the water
been
line.
to a museum
We're
ship or
flooding
want to
quickly.
see a museum ship, which one would you like to go see? As I was trying to go for the heal one. Damn. Stupid suicide frickin' Italian. Eh. Any selections? Would anyone like to pick the next ship? Did Missouri do quite good? It can be any nation, any ship, if I have it. If I have her, I'll play her. Which ship should I go for? It don't matter. You can go tier 3, tier 4, or anything. I'll even go legendary. The whole entire chat has access to all 236 of my frickin' ships for this game mode. Jeez. How many do I actually have if I go to standard? 286. It's a lot. Almost freaking 300. See, one, maybe I should go for another famous one until someone maybe like to pick. I'll go for the Mighty Hood. Yeah, I'll go for Hood and then I'll play one, like, maybe one more. Can be any ship, like I said. All you have to do is pick. Destroyer, cruiser, battleship, carrier, legendary, tier 3, whatever. I have an entire frickin' fleet. And like I said, if I have it, I will play it for you. I have many a times offered my friends to say, hey, maybe you save up this ship experience and go down this tech tree to play this ship. It's like, oh, would you like to play it? Just because. And yeah, maybe I will do that Iowa versus New Jersey, or New Jersey, Iowa versus Yamato video. And I will just do straight Iowa because, with the captain I have, because Missouri has that radar, so that allows me to lock on first. Azure Lane, New Jersey has her captain, so I'll just do plain Jane, Iowa. And then if you all have any thoughts or quirks, maybe then I will do Missouri and then Azure Lane, New Jersey to go against Yamato. Just some thoughts. I like doing those little verses with my buddy Driven. Sometimes he wins, sometimes I win. He is, well, we've only done like 2, I think. No, we've done a couple. We've done Alaska versus, don't know how to say that, tier 7 German cruiser killer that has 12-inch guns as well. No torpedo tubes, so that made him happy. Not sure on that. We've done Dunkirk versus Graf Spee. I wanted to do defense versus Alaska since that's all he has for a super cruiser. Since it has 12-inch guns. That one has 14-inch guns, but I still wanted to see, like, who did it. And I think we've done Azumi versus Alaska, I think, as well. I'd have to look back. I guess, well, we have nothing but time to frickin' wait. I hate these long wait times. When did we start these things? Guess we haven't done it. We go up further. Done a versus on the white. There's the US versus Japan stream. Deal. Yep, there's the one where we did against Graf Spee and Dunkirk. Oh, we did Mutsu versus Aurora, or Mikasa versus Aurora. They fought against each other. Forgot about that one. Did Tiger versus Tiger, Tiger 1913 versus Tiger 59. Have not done a versus in a while. I guess we're overdue.
General quarters.
I have to yell at him and tell him, get your ass back on this game and make another video. Or even a video that I thought of. It kind of would be unfair, but I'd still like to do it. My home state battleship versus his home state battleship. Granted, my home state battleship is the what if, like a more modern one, since granted my original home state battleship was made way before his was and was scrapped. The sister ship is flipped over in Pearl Harbor. But still, I'll run that by him. Like, hey, your state versus my state, who wins? I'll say it anyways. I was thinking maybe not, but I'll say it anyways. If you see like any of these ships that I have, like any of these premium ships that I have, I do have videos on them talking about them in their history, and what I think of them is ships to like say, hey, you should get this ship if you have like if you're thinking about getting a premium ship or something. Like, here's what I think about it, and here's also its history about her. Or if there's a ship that I may have that would just like to see me like ramble off because I look up videos, I have my book that gives me pretty much every ship and what it did in its history. Like, oh, this is its battles, this is what happened, like what it did in the last page and the index and all that crap. No one is escorting Vanguard, really? Finally, someone is. It's like, do I have to get back over there?
Cruiser sunk.
Darn. Okay. Oh well. Battle cruiser just chugging along, and where the frick is the escorts to that ship?
Attention, support that target.
Oh my god, idiots over here that not doing the frickin' job. Well, what time is it anyways? Yeah, I'll do one more after this. I'll just use Grand Finale, my biggest and baddest battleship, Yamato. Well, should say, not my only biggest and baddest, but the only real biggest and baddest. I do have Vermont, but just because her name was mentioned, we'll do Yamato.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship. Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly. Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser. Destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Are you kidding me? I'm stuck. No, I'm not. No, I am again. It's like damn ship. You're kidding me, I'm stuck on the rocks. What am I stuck on? Nothing.
Enemy battleship foundered.
I can't make this crap up. I'm literally stuck on nothing. It's the imaginary chain stuck on something.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
It's like I couldn't make this up even if I tried. Fix the damn game, we're gaming literally. I'm stuck on nothing. I have been stuck on ships before just because one little frickin' piece of the hull sticks out. Really?
All stations, requesting fire on the designated target.
I guess I'm just stuck as a gun platform basically with sonar. Good thing my secondary guns are in range alongside, at least was thus far, my front two turrets. They all shoot for me because I'm stuck. Lovely.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Leave the frickin' Vanguard alone. And leave me alone. I'm the hood. I'm just as I'm good and famous.
Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Well, my secondary gun's not firing. Well, they are firing. They're just not doing damage. Good for the hood. She survived with the Vanguard. And I was stuck, and I got more kills and top of the leaderboard. But, like I said, go out with a bang. The biggest and baddest ship I have, Yamato herself. And just because this is hard mode, and really I don't need the sniping build, I'll go with this one, with the mint of heals that I will need. It'd be funny as hell if I'm going against this frickin' Imperial fleet with an Imperial ship. I guess we'll have to also now see how long it takes, which will be stupid. Come on, my good little thing. I'd like to finish off the night with a good battle with Yamato. It's not having to wait so frickin' long to do it. Any day now, game. Alright, let's just try a normal mode. Why does it take forever to do something when I want to just do it? It's like, come on, really? It's one more game. I want to go out with a bang. I want to use my biggest and most powerful. There you go. Finally. Like I said, an Imperial ship versus the Imperial fleet.
Action stations.
A mighty Yamato, the biggest battleship ever made.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Ship the entire Imperial Navy that had the nickname of Hotel Yamato.
Enemy severely
Pretty
damaged.
sure the people that actually wanted to use her as a fighting ship never got to, really.
Enemy cruiser.
The ship is on fire.
And also, that is the only ship ever to be recreated into a space battleship. For all the people that want, for the people that have seen that anime. Quite like the remake, they did good, even though I've never seen the original Battleship Yamato anime. To keep my ship nice and healthy. See your AA guns.
Fighter airborne.
And it only shows that I think of it for some reason. Is Battleship Yamato has Yamato in it, and what is a Pong? I think it's called, another old anime, kind of much like the hell was that old damn like time traveling movie where a Nimitz blast aircraft carrier goes for a vortex and then goes back to couple days before the attack on Pearl Harbor. Much kind of like that concept if you've ever, like, see some old, like, Navy movies and stuff like that. Kind of like that, seeing Yamato go again, be how she fares was one modern imperial in Japanese self-defense force, I guess, variant of an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. And then just seeing space battleship Yamato, the new one anyways, I like. Especially it just goes in the middle of a frickin' fleet and destroys it practically. Yamato's doing good work.
We've been spotted. Roger. Acknowledged.
Barely keeping up, even though she's only a 27 knot battleship.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Wonder if this type of game, that I think if it is actually worth it to play legendary tier ships.
Enemy heavily damaged.
What are you asking for support? You want me to go in their line of battle? Fine, I'll get in. I'll get a broadside. Going for the last two ships. And darn, I was going for this. Say span splat. Gotta wait now. Splat.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Look at that. Take Yamato out. Goes against her own Imperial warships. Barely a scratch. One little tiny scratch right there. That's it. Oh, Jeez, a 2-hour live stream. I don't think I've ever done. Well, if I have done one of these, it's been quite a long time. But when I get interactive with when people watch and all that, I guess it can go a little bit longer. Then I don't lose interest as fast, I guess. To actually see, did I make a profit with her? Still no, but still fun. Might as well. But what time is it? Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock for me, so I'll probably still play a little bit more. But in terms of streaming, that's where I'm going to leave it all for now. So I want to thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell to notify you anytime that I post a video or go live, and leave your comments down below when this becomes a video, and let me know, would you like me to do this again, and see if we can get more people in, and then I'll do a whole stream of War Tales with only suggestion ships. Like, I have to be told to do a certain, like a ship, a class, or whatever you want. It's fun, interactive. Also this, haven't said in a while, but come on guys, we're almost to 100 subscribers. Can't wait for that. We're almost there. We're so close. I know we can do it. We can get up there in no time to 400 and all that. Want to see that mark before this month is out. Let's go for that as a goal. See if we can get to 400 before April is out. But on that note, again, let me know if you want. I'll do a live stream again. We'll see how many people we get and see how many suggestion ships we got. One. And for all those that commented and just watched, again, I thank you for joining me. Thank you for writing in if you did. And so, hope you have a great rest of your night, day, whenever you're watching this, evening. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. See ya.